That being said, let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Let's talk about probably the prettiest game to be on the PS4 ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my God, this game looks fantastic. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be, well, the Last of Us is coming out soon. That's fine. I get it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Last of Us 2, big game. Everybody wants that one. That's fine. That's fair. Right. But when it comes to visual representation of what we've seen and what I've been able to take a look at and play a little bit of, this game, when it comes to narrative, character, and focus, majorly focus, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's amazing.
It is polished.
Dude, I want to play this game, and I'm not even an avid player. This looks fucking fantastic.
It's beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally in the world. You're getting to see Midgard for the first time that isn't a painting. I mean, the original FF7 is all paintings. All the fucking backgrounds are all actual like paintings. And then what they would do is they would put 3D models in them, specifically character models, and that's how the whole game was.
Here's
now you get to physically explore these locations. The slums, for fuck's sake, look like a shithole. Look like a place I wouldn't want to live.
Yeah, like they made it like real life in a way, in that fantasy realm.
They made it look like they made it look as realistic as at the time that they could. And
you know what the thing about it as well, because you know the gameplay is going to be great because they never stray away. They never stray away.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
it is a fucking. It is a third-person action game.
Yeah, like because they never stray away from that. They've changed a few things here and there, but they only do it to improve the game. They never do it to deprove the game. Final Fantasy does it right. Generally,
it's probably Game of the Year worthy.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be Game of the Decade. You're talking about.
You're probably not wrong.
Dude, this game was worked on in 2015. This game was already started in 2015.
Dude, Cloud looks fucking great, by the way.
He looks amazing.
Cloud looks fucking fantastic.
He's the main character. He should.
Like, they did Cloud. They did my boy right. They did my boy right. Like, he looks fucking fantastic.
Exactly. And here's the one thing that I do want to like get a little bit into is some of the technical stuff that is with it. None of the backgrounds that you see are backgrounds. They're not 3D assets. None of them. Do you know what they all are? They're the skybox.
They're what?
So Nikos knows a little bit of what I'm talking about. When you get to the slums, which is about chapter 3 of the game,
right?
The platform, the upper dish that's above your head, and I'll put my arms down here so that way that people can see what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Is not a fucking 3D asset. It's a goddamn. It's not.
No.
It's not it's not a 3D model. It's the skybox. They figured out a way to turn the skybox into the upper plate of Midgar. So when you're walking around Midgar, specifically in the slums, you're able to see more visually and get more of an idea of where you are in relation. That's why the game looks super fucking cinematic. Is because they were able to do that. And the best part is,
are they the first ones to do that, or
no? They're not the first ones. This technique is not a new. But this technique, the way that they've done it, has, I'm gonna say, rocked the gaming industry a little bit.
Well, yeah, because they
done it in such a way. It's done in such a way, James, where in order to save data, because the PS4 data is what you can do, as much as you can do with it.
Right.
But the fact that they were able to go in and take a console that's pretty old at this point. It's not a brand new console. It's not the next big thing. They were able to go in and fix a lot of shit. They went in and changed so much about how the game's visual representation is. Barrett, mwah, that fucking character's voice acted incredibly. He is one of the best voice actors in the game. You have Wedge, Biggs, Jesse, Barrett, Cloud at the start of the game. Then later on, you meet Tifa, and she looks as fantastic as her art is. You get to visit everybody that's in the slums. Red 13 will appear in the game, and Aerith looks as beautiful as she should be.
One of the things when you
Google, her personality is fantastic, by the way. Like, this is movie quality.
Yeah, like this straight up looks like a movie game. One of the first things that you see is Cloud in the city and with the I don't know what the tower is right off the top of my head.
That's the reactor 1. That's the
reactor 1. He's right next. Reactor. He's right next to the reactor tower.
Yeah,
and
he's right in front of the Mako reactor. And what he's doing is he's infiltrating with Barrett and the Avalanche gang to go in and stop.
If you know nothing about it, like I'm a casual Final Fantasy player, you look at this game. And the detail is fucking ridiculous on the city.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Here's the whole thing. You're seeing it from the reactor standpoint. When you get to the first town, and the first town is not what you're thinking. It's not the slums that you get to. No, you actually get to walk around the destroyed upper dish of Midgar after you fucking blew up a Mako reactor. And you get to see what you did. And everybody makes you feel bad for it. Makes you feel fucking terrible of what you've just done. To hammer in the feeling of like you have cars that are on fire, buildings that are on fire, firemen trying to rescue people.
Yeah,
you have shit happening all the time. And and at a certain point of the game, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna just put it right now. James, put a time code up. For when we get past this part of the conversation.
Spoilers.
This is specifically for you boys.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You get to fucking see Sephiroth for the first time.
Ooh.
And
I'm gonna look up Sephiroth.
No. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna enlarge the screen so you kind of see a little bit more of where I'm coming from. You get to see Nibelheim, which is Cloud's first town. Where Cloud was born, where he was raised, in flashbacks from a first-person perspective. And then you get to see Nibelheim get burned to the ground. And you hear Cloud's mother get killed by Sephiroth.
Oh, shit.
And then, as soon as the cutscene ends, and it's Cloud fucking facing his demon one-on-one.
Right.
Cutscene ends. Sephiroth didn't exist. He wasn't there. It's all in Cloud's fucking head. Promised Land from Advent Children plays.
Oh.
It's with a very crisp cello.
Jeez.
It gives you that effect of past and future combining into it because Nibelheim is the Promised Land for Cloud. Absolutely.
Wow.
Guys, I highly recommend you get this game. Just if
it is so here's where we're gonna come back to. We would recommend as a group, as 3 individuals, 4, including Casey, because he wants to play the shit out of this game, but he has to wait till Wednesday. This fucking game is insane.
It's worth the hardware on your PlayStation.
On top of the fact, James, I want you to look up a name. For a summon.
I already have Sephiroth right in front of me.
No, I know, and he looks fantastic.
Fucking amazing.
But do yourself a favor, look up the first summon that you get in the game, which is Ifrit. The demon.
There it is, right there. Oh, man.
You summon Ifrit in combat. That's what summons do. So you have magics. So here's the whole thing. This is a fucking action game. This is an action game now.
Nice.
This isn't turn-based. You can turn it turn-based if you want. By, using specific in-game stuff to turn a turn-based combat.
Right.
But we're talking about, and I'm going to say this quickly, we're talking about not Devil May Cry style action, but fucking incredible action where every character feels like they have a purpose. Barrett can take out turrets that are mounted on position because of his gun arm. You have Cloud, who is probably one of the best counter characters in the game, who could do fucking parries and continue combos and do a whole bunch of shit. And then Tifa can fucking annihilate a one-on-one opponent by going into chi stances to increase her combat potential to do more fucking damage over time.
Wow.
She has combo extending moves. We're talking about crescent kick into dragon punch.
Nice.
She's doing air combos with characters. She's doing shoryukens and hurricane kicks. In the fucking air, dude. This character's fantastic. This game's fucking incredible. And
I'd highly recommend getting it. I might actually play it and go to Matt's house when this whole quarantine is all over. To be honest, because I know he's getting
storage.
I know Matt's
hardware on my PlayStation. I definitely would buy this game.
Nikos, there's a playable dart section.
Really?
You get to use a jukebox. There are jukeboxes all over the game.
Wow.
Well, you'll get music. And all the music that you're going to obtain from those jukeboxes are going to be jukebox rock and roll style themes of all the fucking major themes in the game. All redone. So Tifa's theme becomes a hard rock theme when it's in the jukebox.
Nice.
I
like hard rock. You know me. I like hard rock.
And the one thing I have to say, you get more of a sense of how much of a badass Cloud, how much Cloud is trying to be the cool guy in every situation, and it's hilarious. It is fantastic of how often this dude's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, I'm just.
I feel like they do it right because like a lot of animes and video games, like they'll try to make him look cool but make him cringe, and he's so cringy that you fucking hate him. Like fucking Naruto is.
Well, here's the whole thing. I'm okay with
Naruto's like
that thinks they're cool, but they're super fucking dorky and lame.
Yeah.
Cloud is absolutely super dorky and lame because he does all these poses to look like a badass.
But when it's serious, he's serious and he gives a shit.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the one quick thing that I do want to talk about is narrative pacing.
Right.
And I'm watching a playthrough at the moment because I can't afford the game because it's not in my price range at the moment because of everything that's going on.
Right.
Have you ever seen somebody cry on stream during a video game?
No.
I've seen some.
PewDiePie comes to mind with Walking Dead.
PewDiePie, Berlizzi.
But I'm saying specifically because of memories. Maximilian's first game on PlayStation was Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh.
That game's about almost 30 years old.
So he was emotional just seeing how.
Dude, he only got to play the demo of Chapter 1 and 2 and 7. So when he gets to Chapter 3, he has to walk away from his play session for a couple minutes.
Wow.
That's some fucking impact for a game. And as I said, if you're not a fan of turn-based combat, that's gone. Turn-based combat, you no longer have to worry about. You have a hotbar for all your Materia's gone ape shit. Materia's ape shit in this game, dude. We're talking about nuts. Cloud can use ice spells, fire spells. He can do more. He has more fucking magic points. He has more health. He can fucking resurrect himself in combat. Ridiculous nonsense. It's so much more shit than what you're used to. Bosses have weak points and weak stages and can actually take damage in isolated locations. Some bosses are weak into fire, ice, maybe electricity. Fucking, I'm playing Devil May Cry in Final Fantasy.
That's nuts.
That's basically it.
That's nuts.
But it's all smart. This gameplay is, as I've said, it's Square Enix polish. And that's what you want for all your games, is Square Enix polish. There's a couple stutter moments, but that's going to happen in any game that's just fucking massive.
Right.
And the first disc is 30 hours. That's a lot of gameplay, my dude.
How many discs there are in total? You said there was 7 or 4?
This thing's going to be huge. I want you to put that in perspective. The original game was 4 discs on PlayStation 1. This might be a 4-disc PlayStation 4 game.
30 hours each.
30 hours each, which means hopefully by the end of it, and I hope they Square, if you watch this podcast and you got to this moment, give us a playable Zack section so we don't have to play Crisis Core ever again. I don't want to play Crisis Core ever again. Give me a playable Zack section. And the flashbacks? Mwah.
Perfect.
Cloud had... Again, censor bar really quick.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Move to this time code not to get spoiled.
Cloud has a moment where he sees the Ancient Ones from the planet. Aerith is the last of the Ancient Ones from the planet that he's on. Cloud has a physical flashback of memories that he doesn't actually have because he was injected with Genova DNA.
Jesus.
Cloud's a fucking super. Cloud's a super soldier, my dude. He was injected with alien DNA.
Yo, so that means him and Captain America could have a crossover. Yay!
Yeah.
The problem is that Cloud can jump like 40 feet in the air, has the ability to swing a sword that is twice his body length and mass, and yeah, I should probably mention the fact that he's able to, in later, specifically Advent Children, have a blade that can separate into 7 separate swords that he's able to attack you with to do Omni Slash. Yeah, pussy little faggot with the fucking big star shield is really going to be able to beat the 5'8" super soldier who fights a literal god in space.
Yeah.
a god who puts a hole through Jupiter.
Right.
A hole through the gas planet of Jupiter.
Jesus Christ.
As I've said before, this game's going to be expensive.
It is.
Because Ifrit is already like one of those things that you're like, they could never do this in any other game but this game. This game was definitely.
But this game was hyped out for a long time.
Let me put
5 years.
Let me put it like this, James. Here I'm going to represent this as Square Enix. This is my wallet, by the way. This is what Square did. They fucking put everything into this game. This game is money.
Yeah.
This game is cash fucking money.
Yeah. That's how you do it, EA. Don't fucking...
That's how you do it.
Bullshit packs.
Microtransactions, DLC, 50 billion fucking nonsense things that nobody cares about. A Nerf football.
Nerf football.
Wait a minute. Is Mako poisoning just fucking getting diabetes from Mountain Dew consumption?
Yes.
Possibly.
And on that note, Nikos, your first experience with Final Fantasy?
Hold on, Casey, I can't leave yet. I gotta get Mako poison. Give me a second.
Sure.
Why did you mute your microphone? What?
He did.
What the fuck happened?
He did.
He
died.
Fast.
He died.
Muted his mic.
Mike has left the
party. Fuck off.
I'm gonna have to take a fucking...
What the fuck?
You mad bastard.
I really hope you put that in the video and not the text because I fucked it up because I was trying to type really quick. But please put Mike has left the party and like Final Fantasy text on the side of the screen.
I get it. Oh, I just got it.
Mike has left the party.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Mickey has left the party.
Oh, I heard that you people were playing with your Doom penises. What are you doing?
No, we're talking about a better fucking... let's not talk about fucking Final Fantasy PG, alright? Let's talk about actual Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy rated G.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, you're heartless. Great. That means you're better. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, Nikos, your first experience with Final Fantasy?
To be honest, I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy games.
Really?
The one I remember playing distinctly was 15.
Yep. Honestly, I think it's one of the best narrative Final Fantasy games for the fact that you get to understand the characters more in your party in that game than any other. Till 7, obviously.
15 is the recent one, right?
15
is one of the most recent
15 is the go out with your friends and go camping simulator.
Which one is the one that Matt played all the time?
That's 15.
15.
That's 15, yeah.
I think I remember
that's
going
the
to
one I
South
actually
Carolina.
played and watched Matt play mostly.
You mean the one where Matt cried his eyes out at the ending because it started playing Stand By Me and he started fucking getting emotional?
Yes.
Did that really happen?
Dude, that's the opening fucking thing of the game.
Oh,
The
I
ending
also-
of the game is redoing the fucking intro of the game again. So, so that way you can do 100% playthrough in case if you've missed anything, you get to do the game all over again from the beginning.
The other
and
thing
all
is
you hear is in a black screen, you hear, push the damn car already, and you're like, oh, that's the intro cutscene of the game, and then it starts the game over.
I have the weirdest story of how I even knew of my Final Fantasy.
Go for it. I have Mako poisoning. Go for it.
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, you sure?
It's hot in here. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna strip down a layer. A layer. I'm stripping off a layer.
Okay.
Like onions have layers. Ogres have layers.
Anyway.
You get it. We both have layers.
So, Casey, you're going to want to pay attention because this is pretty fucking funny. So, I don't remember what the series was called, but I remember I was the biggest. This is the kind of nerd I was, so you know immediately what kind of nerd I was back when I was a kid. But I was a huge Newgrounds nerd, so I'd watch a lot of fucking Newgrounds. And
Hey, we all had that phase.
And one of the series.
Is it Awesome Fantasy?
No, not at all. So it was a Mario thing.
Super Mario Brothers Z.
Big ass Mario fucking geek.
Super Mario Brothers Z.
No, not even that. Not even that. It was a whole different Mario series, and it involved Link, and him and Link fought for some damn reason, and for whatever reason.
That's how it created Toon Link?
No. For whatever reason, Sonic and Knuckles were bad guys. And they were helping out Sephiroth. Now, mind you, I have no idea who Sephiroth is.
Top 15,
I had no idea who he is.
Yes.
Until the very end of this thing, where they pretty much reenact the fight between Cloud and Sephiroth, because Cloud comes out of nowhere and just kills Sonic and Knuckles with his big ass fucking sword.
You know, somebody out there is definitely writing in the comments going, my childhood. And I'm just sitting there going, the fuck?
And I'm just like, I was looking at Cloud and I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? And then it got further and further, and he had like of course Cloud had the best fucking dialogue of the whole fucking thing.
Even though
I'm just looking at him and I'm like,
he's a piece of shit.
Cloud's so fucking cool.
Yeah,
that was my first experience of anything Final Fantasy related. It was from Mario, of all fucking things.
Yeah.
Now here's one thing that I can say.
Go ahead.
Final Fantasy is one of those series that you can be a fan of, or you cannot be. It's one of those things that's very niche and very specific to the individual. Right. But if you are looking for captivating gameplay, interesting characters, and a huge fucking world to run around, it's Final Fantasy all the way.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Like Final Fantasy VII is going to be the biggest map ever.
Absolutely. Which leads me into my first experience with the series, which is probably going to sound like blasphemy to some of y'all.
Is it 13 or is it 8?
Neither. It's 10.
10. FF10. Would that be...
That's Titus.
That is Titus. Is it Titus?
Yep.
No, wait, hold on. Here comes the big question. Is it Crow laughing Titus, or
yes.
the later remake edition where he doesn't do the Crow laugh anymore?
No, it's Crow laughing Titus.
Oh, the greatest version of Titus. So I don't hate FF10. I really don't. I think it's a good game. But that last fucking boss fight, dude,
is bull.
Is when you're on the airship. I don't think it's a last boss fight, but it's up against a huge fucking monster that's outside of your ship, and you have to go one-on-one against it. Couldn't beat it.
Funny story about that. I actually know what you're talking about, and the only reason I know was because I played it, is because my brother played Final Fantasy X and raged every night trying to beat
that boss. That boss, if you get into the room without saving prior, like going up against it and not going to save prior, you're fucked. There is no way you're
I remember it was like late at night, I'm trying to go to sleep for school, and all of a sudden I hear waking me up out of fucking nowhere, I forgot to hit save! And I'm like, what happened?
Now, there's one thing that I can say about Final Fantasy. So my first one I actually played is FF7. The first one I ever beat was FF8. And that kind of leads me into the whole category of I love Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. Because I love that character design, plus his weapon is a gun blade. It's mixing my two favorite things into one weapon, so... It's a 6-shooting revolver that's a sword.
Right.
That's right up my alley. That's pretty sick. Even though it is obviously the inferior game next to 7, because 7 is the fucking bar of Final Fantasy. If you can't even touch that bar, what's the point?
Right.
It's the big one.
Question is, so they're doing this remake. I feel like this is probably a legitimate question. Because it's being hyped up as so fucking masterfully, engineered and all this stuff with the biggest map and everything, could there be a possibility, because I'm not saying it will, that the game could be overhyped and fail to meet some expectations?
Here's the whole thing.
There is a slight possibility about that, but go ahead, Mike.
James, I'm gonna give you an example with the first chapter of the game.
Right.
I think it's probably, it's second chapter of the game, because the first chapter is the Maka Reactor, the second chapter. Here's where I know that this game is going to be Game of the Year for soundtrack, Game of the Year for being Game of the Year, and Game of the Year when it comes to gameplay. When you are walking... so here's what happens, storyline, so that way you know what's happening. Cloud, Barrett, Jesse, Wedge, and Biggs go into the Maka Reactor and blow it up.
Right.
I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but that's pretty much what happens. There's obviously more to that, but you can look that up in your own free time. After all that, when the explosion happens, what happens is it starts burning the upper dish town that's located near the reactor. So Cloud is walking through the city streets of the upper dish and is hearing each individual piece of dialogue from every single human being that is on the streets trying to figure out what to do next. And it feels real. Wow. It's that one simple moment when you're walking around and you go, oh my God, I did this.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of it feels real.
Now, I have to stop there, and I have to say this: when you finally get to the Sephiroth moment, and he looks at you dead in the face, and he starts talking to Cloud one-on-one. And you start seeing flashbacks of Cloud as a kid, him meeting fucking Tifa for the first time. Tifa is a little girl, Cloud is a little kid. And hearing
Tifa, oh man.
Yeah. And you're hearing Cloud's mom get killed by Sephiroth in Nibelheim as it's getting burned to the ground.
Not to mention Tifa's dad.
Yeah, Tifa's dad as well. Which is why I will say absolutely that Cloud and Tifa are the sole companions for the rest of the franchise. They are the best friends forever. Ideology with those two. When Cloud,
why don't they date?
Because Aerith exists.
Right, I know.
And when Cloud attempts to go for a slash, Sephiroth disappears because he wasn't there to begin with.
Right.
Sephiroth's in his head. Well, at least it's what we're made to believe. And then when you're leaving that alleyway and you start walking back, you hear the FF7 version of Promised Land from Advent Children play while you're trying to get to the train station and make your way to the slums. And you're like, holy fuck, this game's fantastic. And listen, if there was ever a moment, obviously the first game is going to take place all in Midgar. Midgar is fucking huge. Midgar is going to take you about 28 hours to get all the way through. That's a big fucking game.
That whole map itself.
For Midgar, Midgar's a city. It's a living. When you're walking around it, you can feel a living, breathing organism that's covered in metal. But you understand the people that live.
Basically, they tried to modernize it and did it perfectly by making it like the New York City of the franchise.
It already was.
Yeah.
This city is a super city, a utopia city in concept, but it isn't. It has everything that you would expect. The high class, the workers for the big corporation, shit like that, they all live up there. And Cloud we get to finally meet. And Casey, I don't know how far you know about what's going on in the game. You good?
Casey?
I can't hear him.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to talk to my sister.
Okay. How far have you gotten into, or at least know, of FF7 so far?
Not very much. I got a chance to see towards the end of the game earlier today when I was in Dartmouth visiting my friend John. Specifically, the group was starting to make their way through Shinra headquarters.
Yep. So they
and the first, yep. And well, actually, Aerith was with them. And,
but you still get Red 13, which is one of the coolest characters in the whole game.
Yep.
But so you don't know about you, Wedge, Biggs, and Jesse going back up to the upper plate and going to Jesse's house.
No.
Okay, so here's what happens.
Wait, why are we spoiling it?
It's not really a spoiler. It's a minor.
How many years?
This isn't in the original.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a remake.
No, James. This isn't in the original game, and I'm not really spoiling anything. This is put in this game to get some story stuff in. For the side characters. So you go with Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge. Which Biggs and Wedge are absolutely based off the Star Wars characters, Biggs and Wedge.
Because of course they are.
Of course they are. They're in every single Final Fantasy game. There's always going to be a Biggs and Wedge. So you go with Jessie. You get to go to her house in this game. You get to see her dad, who used to work at the reactor plant, laying in bed trying to recover from fucking Mako poisoning. Now, keep in mind, I have to say this because it's important. Do you want to know what character in the Final Fantasy VII party gets Mako poisoning? In case you don't spoil, I want to have these two guess.
I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
Okay,
remember, I'm still, even though I know Cloud and all these other guys, I'm still relatively new to this. So,
Nikos,
I'm new at this as well.
Well, James accidentally guessed it correctly.
What?
It's
Cloud poisoning.
Yeah, like right before the last third of the original game, he gets locked in a Shinra tank and gets Mako poisoning.
And then Cloud is unused for the rest of the game. Almost the
rest of the game.
Do your research, kids.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Mako poisoning is shitty because
Mako poisoning is nothing to mess with.
Yeah.
And what happens is, so just like Chrono Trigger, where Chrono dies, which by the way, no spoilers on that. Fucking, it's time travel. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Cloud gets Mako poisoning is unused. Like you can't use him. So that's what I'm trying to figure out from my mental perspective of how they're going to do that. How the fuck are they going to have Cloud come back? Because he gets Mako poisoning, dude. He's useless. Like, he gets put in bed. You're using fucking Barrett, Tifa. Aerith's dead.
Yeah. Aerith's got a katana through her spine.
Yeah, and dead. You have Sid, Red 13.
And Yuffie Kisaragi.
Yes, and I think that's all you get up to that point because you don't get I know that you're probably going to get mandatory Vincent Valentine in this game.
Yeah, he's optional in the original.
But
you can get him. I believe you can get him before you even go to Wutai. But
you can get him early. But the problem is the fights in that house are really fucking hard.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, James, because I don't know how much you know about FF7.
Relatively little, other than the fact that I know Cloud is a badass, and
Cloud's an edgelord, but yes, he is a badass.
Cloud isn't.
He's the only edgelord badass to ever exist.
No. He's not an edgelord or a badass. He's a big fucking dork who tries to act cool.
Oh, so he's us.
No, but it's more the fact. Like, let me put it like this. Let me put this in perspective. Cloud straight up knows that he's trying to act cool. He's self-aware of his actions, and it's super funny. Like, he'll be sitting there. He's the type of dude that will lean up against the wall, and then when everybody leaves the room, he goes and plays darts. Just to be the big fucking dork in the room.
Either that or pinball, should they have a pinball table in the room.
So, Casey, so we know that summons exist. Ifrit has already been confirmed. Shiva's already been confirmed.
Yeah.
In the part of the game.
I remember seeing the fat chocobo summon.
Yep. Yeah, all the DLC summons. But here comes the question. What's going to be the most expensive cutscene in this game?
Probably.
I mean, I think the whole game is just an expensive cutscene at this point.
James,
no, that's Metal Gear Solid.
Hours of cutscenes.
Get it correct, James. That's Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Actually, Casey,
I have to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
allow me to, Casey, I hate to spoil it to you, but this game is as long as a Metal Gear Solid game when it comes to cutscenes. This is 9 hours of cutscenes.
Cloud from Final Fantasy has to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
So let me put it like this. Let me put it like this. Summons are now like in fights. So that means Titan is going to fight with you in combat. Alexander is going to fight with you in combat. Odin is going to fight with you in combat.
I like Odin.
They're all whooping your ass in combat.
Well, you only get one summon to use at a time. Because you have to balance it. So, Casey...
You talk about combat, the one time I wish I could just play the 18 theme right now.
Yeah, right? But here's the one thing I can't say, Case. What the fuck is it going to be like when you get Knights of the Round?
Oh, God.
Uh-huh. Knights. So if you and Nikos have no idea who that is, Knights of the Round is called Ultimate End for a reason. Knights of the Round is, and I'll pull the image up so that way, James, you can use it in the show as a kind of reference point for who Knights of the Round are.
Don't screen share just because it could boot.
I'm not gonna screen share. I'm gonna just put it in the chat so that way you can use it later and you can give it like a cool background because I got a PNG image of it. Yeah.
Do that.
So here is how many members that are in Knights of the Round. And I just put the image up right now, so you should be able to appear soon.
Nice.
Please click enlarge the image. And I saw Nikos' face like, holy fuck, that's a lot of members. James, please click the image and blow it up on your screen. I need you to see everything.
I just did. It's cool.
Knights of the Round is, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10,
13.
12, 11. Yeah, 13 fucking people that are going to appear at once, and they're going to beat the shit out of you.
Now that's a statement.
12, a central figure surrounded by 12 fellow soldiers.
Oh God,
That's not a Christ analogy at all.
Ah, fuck off.
Now,
granted, being called Knights of the Round, I get they were probably going more for King Arthur.
They're definitely going for King Arthur. It's Arthur in the middle there. But here's the whole thing. Casey, what's the name of the dragon?
Bahamut.
Which version?
You've got Bahamut, you've got Neo Bahamut, and there's one other that comes in between them. I'm blanking on what it's called.
Bahamut, Neo Bahamut, Zero.
Bahamut. Yes.
So
I was about to say, I know it's not Bahamut Sin. That's happened children. But,
so should I pull up Bahamut Zero, the planet destroyer?
Yeah.
Yes.
The god of literal planetary destruction. And the good part is I can now give you a screenshot of how fucking massive this summon is. This summon's huge. I don't even know how they're going to do it in game. This summon is the scariest fucking summon in the entire franchise. Like, this is, you summon Bahamut Zero, it's the end of the fight. Go fuck yourself. This thing survives Bahamut Zero.
And let's make this the last thing that we see, by the way, because I would love to continue talking about this, but we have like a bunch of other topics, and we still have to take our commercial.
Oh.
So why don't we use this
God.
Dude, it's massive. It's fucking
Fuck me.
It's Death Star status, okay? This thing will nuke a planet.
Damn.
It clearly is nuking the fucking planet.
It's
Who needs a Death Star when you got Bahamut Zero?
Dude, Bahamut Zero's foot. And that's the old design of him, too. He is.
Dude, it's like if the Red Eyes Black Dragon just took a bunch of fucking steroids.
Dude, it's Blue Eyes on crack, okay? Be honest.
No, it's the Red Eyes Black Dragon because he's black.
Actually, he's silver.
Oh, is he? I can't tell. He doesn't look silver.
He doesn't look silver.
It's the fact that you're looking at this in space.
Yeah, you're looking at this in space. So we're going to take a quick commercial.
Colors don't exist!
So we're going to take a quick commercial break because we're actually halfway through the topics now, so yay! And when we come back, we're actually giving you guys some really good, fun news.